I said I was gonna post a video like 3 weeks ago. Well, I finally decided to get off my butt and go work. So, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to try and get to door 250 in endless mode. The only catch is I have a wheel of death. This wheel of death has various challenges that are all gonna make it a lot harder. I am stupid, and I don't play endless mode. Ever. So my highest is not very high, and I don't have the 250 badge or the 500 badge, but I'm not doing that today. That's for another day. So, without further ado, let's go. I think it's like what, 11:30. So I'll give myself until 1 a.m. That's right, I'm doing this in the late hours of the night. I am such a baddie. You guys think I can jump down there? I'm not gonna try. I tried to do this another time, like maybe a few weeks ago, and that didn't go very well. I might post that video, but it was really stupid, so I decided not to post it. Basically what happened was, dude, stop with these stupid rooms, like. Anyways, so what happened was, like, I was playing, right, and, suddenly my computer just, like, grew a mind of its own and started walking for me. Like, I would take my hand off the keyboard and it would just start moving at its own will, which was really annoying. And I tried, like, restarting my computer a couple of times and it didn't work. Something tells me I'm gonna die to something really stupid. Like, I'm really tired. I'm not used to numbers counting up anymore. Feels weird, you know? I hope Harbinger doesn't spawn. Oh. Well, that's cool. Hello. Dude, give it to me. Thank you. Hello, woman. I actually have a friend now. Yippee. Whenever I'm in dark rooms, I have like a constant fear that I'm just gonna fall off the edge. And that goes for real life too. I'm scared of falling off cliffs in real life. Actually, that's a lie. I'm a rock climber. I don't fear cliffs. I saw, behold, it was a pale horse, and his name said upon him, it was death. Jesus, calm down. I hate the oxygen gardens. Those divine children can go die. Oh my god, speaking of dying. Yes, burn. Do I burn if I touch you? Yes, I do. Okay. Lesson learned. Yo, get away! Please don't touch me, Mr. Candlebear. I got Mirage yesterday, which made me very happy because I've never gotten Mirage. So it's time to go spin the wheel. Okay. Alright, turn off death mode. Jesus Christ! Okay, I gotta remember. I can't scream. My family's sleeping. I'm so good at this game. I don't need to hide in lockers. Only idiots hide in lockers. Only idiots die to turrets. That's right. Turrets are stupid. Stop giving me these stupid rooms, dude. Please stop laughing at me. I know that was really embarrassing. You don't have to laugh. I swear, I'm gonna fall off this because I'm like really... This is why I have deaf mode on, bro. I'm deaf. Wait, yep, nope, that one barked at me. Do you guys ever just, like... Okay, hold on, let me explain this. Like, a month or two ago, I was going to see, like, fireworks, and I was in, like... Well, I honestly forgot where I was. But I was somewhere. And we were eating dinner, and I had just heard Pinky scream. Like, I'm genuinely not even kidding. I just heard her, like, screaming in the background of the restaurant, and it scared me a lot. Dude, I can't just re-turn off death mode. Okay, we'll spin again. That one doesn't count. No. Oh my god. This is amazing. Let me in! I'm so mad that my most viewed video was so stupid. Literally just, that stupid driverless taxi I took when I was in California. Ooh, I have a good story. When we were coming back from our trip to California, I won't say where we live, but I'll say we live far from California. Jesus, man. It was, like, really late. So we live far from California, so we had, like, a long flight back. And, it was really annoying. There it is. It was really annoying, right? So we get back, like, our flight to back home it was like delayed by a bunch, and we were really exhausted, and we honestly just wanted to go home. Was it shooting me? I was hiding. Okay, yeah, I died to something really stupid. Only idiots died at turrets. 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 Please don't laugh at me. So we were coming back, and we get out of the airport. It's like, let's say, I think it's like midnight or something. So we're all like really tired, and we start driving home. Suddenly, like, we were driving, and I was kind of like zoning out, because, you know, I do that in the car. You know when you're driving and like you get on the side of the road where it's like you're not supposed to drive on it, so it has those little vibraty things. I started hearing that, and I was like, dude, why is my dad driving over these? Like, how stupid is he? And then suddenly, I look to the side, and we're on the opposite side of the road, and I'm like, wait a minute. What's that noise? We pull over. My dad goes outside. He looks at the tire. He's like, y'all, we got a flat tire. My mom's like, you're kidding. He's like, no, I'm not kidding. We got a flat tire. And we're all like, oh my god. And like, the problem is, my dad's car is really new because he got a new one like last year or something. So it's really new. So it doesn't have like a tire in the back. We were like, okay, well, we have one of those like stupid things that can like recharge the tire. Because like cars have those now, I guess. So we were trying to use it, and we waited there for like 7 minutes. Keep in mind, it's like midnight to like 1 a.m. We thought it worked. So we sat there for like 10 minutes, you know, blowing up the tire and all that. So finally, after it was like done, you know, inflating or whatever, we're like, alright, we're gonna try and drive on it. No, did not work very well. I immediately, like, we had like our emergency lights on, and we were driving really slow, and the car immediately started like vibrating. Like, I was trying to text my friends while this was happening, and I couldn't text because my hands were shaking so much from the car vibrating so aggressively. Take an exit, and we go to like an Exxon or something, or like whatever gas station there was. I forgot, I wasn't paying attention. And we pull in there, and I'm like, guys, look, there's air. And we're like, oh my god, yes, there's air. So we're like really happy, and we drive up to the air. The air was not working. How do you run out of air? I think I have a photo, and like we look at the tire, and like there's no saving this thing. The tire is completely shredded. There's literally, no matter how hard we try, there's nothing we can do. So we did what we did not want to do, call a tow truck. So we called, oh my god, these stupid oxygen guards. We called the tow truck. They're like, yeah, we'll come get your car, but we only have space for one, and there's 4 y'all, so you gotta call an Uber. So we called an Uber, came a couple minutes later, and we got in the Uber. We're still like 30-40 minutes away from home. So we get in the Uber, and we get home at like 1 or 2 a.m. Oh shoot, I didn't even realize we were at door 20. Dude. I didn't want to add this one because I knew what I was gonna see. Wattpad. Oh, look at this. Me. You had read over many files during your idle time in headquarters, but his file was one you read a bit more than any other. You felt more sympathy than most, if not all, of the other operatives in Urban Shade. His files, however, felt more somber. It felt like you could feel the man's life being torn away from him every time you read through it, but you didn't think you would be here today. Sorry, I can't read. I have trauma from when I was picked on in kindergarten to read. On the hunt for him. At the end of the day, he deserved to be treated human, and not less than. In this hostile environment, you didn't know why you'd expect him to be just be aggressive. So here you sat in the dark corner of an isolated room, seeing this monster stuffing your comrades into desk drawers, ripping them to shreds. That's wonderful. You were too terrified to make a peep, your hands over your mouth to keep your scared sobs to yourself, but you couldn't entirely blame him. Ermin Shade made him what he is today, and they continue to pay with the lives of their employees. After Sebastian had released his anger onto your friends, his angler bulb was covered in blood, keeping it dark and him oblivious of your presence. If his hands were covered in blood as well as his clothes, he'd probably have wiped it off at least. But truth be told, he knew you were cowering in that corner. His eyes are made for dark after all. But you hear him moving closer towards you. The noises were slick. His tail likely moved with a little less traction thanks to the blood all over the floor. This is violent, Jesus. And suddenly you looked up, hearing him breathing above you. I see. 3 glowing eyes peering down at you before he snatched you by your neck, making you struggle to breathe. You're a lucky little... I'm not gonna say that. I'm too tired to kill you, he grumbled and squeezed. Well, too tired to dismember you at least, he shrugged. You guys weakly like, stop! Stop! You begged, with what little airflow you had. His eyes narrowed and he grumbled, why should I? His tone was less of a question, more like a demand for answers. Read a lot! You exclaimed and coughed, holding onto his wrist and staring at him with teary eyes. He sighed and loosened his hold on your neck just long enough for you to breathe and speak properly. You gasped and panted before looking up and meeting his spooky, glowing eyes again. They were all you could see of him. I've read everything, even info I'm not supposed to. I know things that can help you. You saw his eyes narrow as if he was scripting. Dude, that's kind of creepy. That's like saying, oh yeah, I stalk you. I know your home address. I can help you. I know where you live. He huffed and wiped his clothes against the wall before cleaning off his bulb enough for you to be able to see. Wouldn't you operatives prefer to die before helping prisoners? He questioned and crossed his arms, his third arm on his hip. You shrunk away into your corner now that you could see him. I read your file. At least it does. That's really creepy. Before you get mad at me, I didn't want to come here to hurt you. I made to promise your life easier, but that isn't something easily in my power. You sighed and lowered your head as you fiddled with your fingers. You were expecting death. Your reasoning behind him allowing you to live was shaky best. Fine, he grumbled and backed away from you before taking something off his tail. A set of faulty handcuffs. I will be running away. Without the squad, I might run into any of the anglers. Or the shark with a shark. Oh, infestation. I thought you meant pandemonium. You scratched the back of your neck and watched Sebastian think for a moment before grumbling. Point made. All you're good for is information. So he held his hands near his eyes. Any guns and knives are mine now. He snickered with a Jesus. He snickered with a sly look in his eyes and a smug smile across his face. Maybe I'm not even halfway done. Disarming someone who had all they need to kill him, sent by higher ups. You handed off your guns and your combat knife before holding your hands up and doing a spin. There were very few places to hide weapons and diving gear. Now that you were disarmed, Sebastian strapped the weapons to his tail for now before suddenly picking you up and holding you in one hand. You gasped and wiggled around. I hate that word so much. Wiggle. Around in fear. Overtook your senses all over again. Stop leading the fishman to glare at you. Stop wiggling, dude. Can't say that. If you're with me, the others won't attack you, he grumbled, and you quickly leaned back and smiled awkwardly. Right, sorry, you muttered and looked back at the bloody room, quickly looking away with a sigh. Sebastian held you tight to prevent any escape. Not that you were really gonna try. Escape would only lead to death far sooner. It was hard to see in most of the rooms the two of you went through. Then both reached a room that looked like it had fake grass in it. Sebastian sat you down in front of a room and looked around. Go in already, he grumbled. When looked around, alright. When you looked around as well. Alright. Alright. You huffed and crouched down and crawled through the vent before standing up in a dark room. Only when Sebastian crawled behind you, the room illuminated by his angler bulb. There was a table or two with myriad, what does that word mean, of things spread across it. I hope I didn't just say a horrible thing. I hope I didn't just say like a slur or something. You run a shop with all the things you scrounge up? You asked curiously, then walked to her table and found his file sitting on there with a rather expensive price tag on it. They sent prisoners down here to fetch some friggin' crystal. So whatever confidential files they had, I take a fair trade. No, he hummed and slithered over to the furthest wall, taking things off his tail, likely preparing to sort all the items out. Well, he wasn't lucky. He grabbed his file and opened it. It was the same rest of the files, just written by someone else, and you hastily set it down before he so much as bothered to take notice. His supplies seemed to be more important. As you finished exploring what you could in the little room, you walked to a corner and sat down. This is when Sebastian looked at you and waved the bell, but he left you be. He didn't really care what you were up to as long as you didn't go near the vent. And this had things went on for a week or two. Sebastian gave you what little food he could spare. Whenever he went out, you usually went with him. You couldn't stand sitting in the dark shop all on your own. After all, wall dwellers could certainly get into this once. It was somewhat peaceful. Whenever the prisoners that were sent here came around and bought what Sebastian had, whenever he had finished reading the files and documents, he let you read them. A much friendlier relationship formed in this symbolic relationship. You were set on Sebastian's shoulder, holding on to the top of his head as you looked around. On the map, it was this way, you muttered, leading him to a safe room, likely full to the brim of supplies and food. Whoa, he huffed to put you off his shoulder, covering your eyes as you both entered a hall with the glass walls filled with water. A faint green glow permitted his fingers. You'd hear him grumbling, "Frick off!" He hissed and smacked the glass with his tail, and suddenly, with a quiet squeak, and the green tint was gone. He uncovered your eyes. "What gosh diggity darn eyeball!" he grumbled before lifting you up and setting you on his shoulder again. "Down this hall, right?" he inquired, I'll just say his mini angler bouncing up and down as he slithered across the floor. "Right at the end, to the left, yippee!" You smiled and leaned forward a bit to try and spot the door before gasping as you slipped off his shoulder. You nearly hit the concrete like a diving sparrow, but Sebastian snagged you by your shirt and what is this word choice? And lifted you up with a sigh. "Are you special or something?" He huffed and lifted you back up and held you by the collar of your shirt as he stared at you with narrow eyes. Well, can't I be excited?" You huffed and grabbed his mini angler and gave it a tight tug. He flinched and winced before tossing you in the air and letting you fall onto his tail. "Ow, ow, ow, owie!" You whined and rolled over on your back as he gasped for air. "Nice, is it, booty?" He huffed and crossed his arms. "Sorry. Damn you. Die!" You groaned and slowly pushed off his tail and stood up, though you used it as support. "That's crazy. I don't care." He ate so hard. He mused and shot you a big smile before removing his tail aside so he could read the door with his help. "That dang dog." You what? You muttered and pressed your thumb against a print lock and the door opened. Sebastian seemed a tad bit shocked seeing I asked this. "Aren't you classed and dead? Why are your prints still working?" Yeah, questions he struggled up. "Until they find a body, they do not update it. They're too lazy." They're like me for real. You shrugged and watched him pry it open before he went to investigate with you. "Just make sure." "Holy shiitake mushrooms!" You laughed, hearing his muffled shout before stepping in and looking around. There's so many different guns, ammo, rations, and fresh water. Nothing you didn't have enough already, but most importantly, batteries and medical kits. There was so much stuff all behind one door that he could have banged up enough to open. He whipped around and pulled you into a sudden hug before he began to gather all of these very needed items. You were baffled for a moment before rubbing his stomach. Right. You huffed and started to get the rations. Find the bunch of food and water. There were books, random books, but nonetheless so they keep you entertained within the shop. These along made your day, night, you weren't sure anymore. You scooped up as many books as you could before. "Books!" You smiled and held them up. He looked at the bag on the floor, half full of rations, and tilted his head. Are you gonna eat those books? He questioned and tilted his head. Could you carry? You fell silent when he narrowed his eyes. I already have to carry you, idiot, he grumbled before turning away and focusing on the batteries. You pouted and finished stuffing the bag full of rations with a few books here or there. You couldn't just leave all of them. Sebastian side-eyed you inside. He really couldn't shame you for doing anything to keep your interest in place. Well, survival is the top priority. He had made out of bits and pieces he could. If he could no longer play it as well with less hand-to-eye coordination than what he'd done before, he still strummed it, and now and then when he was feeling random homesickness. Let's lock it again, then you can come back and I can come for my med kits. He hummed and scooped you up and set you right back on his shoulders again. A warning, at least, a fish face. You huffed and sat up, setting the bag in your lap as you held to the top of his head again. When he left the room, you leaned down and locked the door. Off the two of you went. It was a relatively uneventful walk back, or slither back, I don't know. But you made it back without much of an issue. After crawling to the vent, set your bag aside, stretched with a soft yawn. Nap time, you muttered softly with a little whine to your tone. See, your makeshift bed wasn't all that comfortable. Sebastian made his way to his usual side of the room and began to unpack everything he had. Since all you had was food that didn't really need to be unpacked, along with a few books, he went over to the floor, twisting a bit of relief to relieve some of the aching in your back. Another present light of sleep, you joked and shoot your head, and laying back down and stretching your legs and arms out with another yawn. Sebastian looked over as you tried to fall asleep, his still curling a bit as he leaned over and picked you up with an unfamiliar tenderness. Just sleep over here while I sort all this stuff. He hummed and set you down on his tail. The usual straps and belts he used to hold Jesus, bro, shut up, was off, since there was not much of a chance of customers coming around at this time. They were probably dead at this point. His tail wrapped around you like a comfy mattress. Warm and cozy. You couldn't help but feel instantly tired. Thanks, Sebastian, you mumbled softly, half asleep, and your eyes already is. He hummed, quietly sorting through what batteries worked and didn't work. The silence made him feel rather comfortable, or was the soft sound of your breathing. Slowly but surely, his eyelids grew heavy to let out a sigh. Setting down all those things before adjusting his position enough for him to lay down as well. He usually didn't feel very comfortable laying down on his own tail, but he fell asleep far easier with you beside him, and his nightmares, they hardly bothered him this time around. I want you to be mine, selfishly mine. That was literally so cringe, and I hope I don't get that one anymore. Anyways, back to actually playing Crutcher. Dude, I'm just gonna cut that out of the video. That was literally took me 10 minutes to read. So either I have a small brain and half of that was just me stuttering. The writing was nice, if that makes sense. It was really good writing, but dude, I'm not trying to read Fishman fanfics. Glutton for punishment was an unfun badge, because I'm just really stupid. Is that Blitz? That's Blitz. Girl, bye. I swear I always get this freaking goofy room. Yeah. Bye. Dude! Get away from me, you rats. That's right, guys. Bottom feeder is a disgusting rat. Froger. E2 locker. Sweet. Bro, please stop. I'm uncomfortable. Oh, sweet. And we're out of this disgusting room type. Back pain. It means I have to crouch the entire time. Pressure? I love pressure. Also, I have trauma now because I was playing the other day, and I'm not even kidding. Angler literally rebounded. Sir, you can't do that. Dude, and it's a keycard room. Please heal me. Can y'all see why this is called back pain? No. Oh, god damn it. I'm not beating this, bro. I'll make like a part 2 of this video where I beat it, but like, I think I just made a freaking thing too torturous. Dude, I thought I was gonna be cooking on this. I thought I was gonna easily get there. I'm pretty sure I actually had that badge on my old accounts. What old account am I talking about? I don't want to talk about it. Okay, that is not a bad one. Basically what blind is, I have to take my glasses off. Alright. Also, I got the back rooms like a while ago, and I didn't know how insanely rare it was until I saw a video and someone was like, oh yeah, the back rooms is like so rare. And I was like, wait, really? I've gotten that before. Now don't you go rebound in there, Buster. I have a challenge on there called moonwalking, which I really don't want to get. Oh my god! I just screamed because the bottom feeder really scared me a lot. I might have woken up a family member with that. That is not good. Okay. 7, I wasn't. What even killed me? Squiddles, dark room, infestation, candle bearer. I was previously mauled by a jump scare thingy. I swear I am good at this game. It is literally just cause it's 2 a.m. Well, that was quite the video. I'm sorry I sucked for like half the video. That's my bad. I recorded this at like 2 in the morning. I promise I will make a part 2 at some point and I will get less lazy with editing. I have no excuse. I was just being really lazy this past few weeks. But I've finally gotten this video done, and I hope you like it. I'm really proud of it because it's like my first actually good video, and I'm really awkward talking on camera with my voice because I'm not super used to it. I've never really done that stuff before. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed my first video. If there's anyone actually watching this, feel free to comment any future suggestions you have for me regarding editing tips or like video ideas or stuff like that, and I'll read all of them. Anyways, thanks for enjoying my beautiful video of me suffering. I hope you have a good day, and that's all for now, folks.